Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of a very special product. This is the 2024 refreshed Alfa Romeo Stelvio, but not just any Stelvio, this is the Quadrifoglio model. So this is the high performance, and I mean amazing sounding Stelvio. So we are certainly very excited to show you what this vehicle is all about. We'll be talking about a lot of other different things in this test drive, as well as getting our sound level reading. So let's go ahead and start with the hard acceleration, because that is the most exciting part. Oh, wow. Holy moly.
Well, 505 horsepower is a lot. You certainly feel that. But honestly, even before you feel the 505 horsepower, you hear the 505 horsepower.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds awesome.
Holy moly, that has got to be one of the best sounding cars that I've ever heard. Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is a Ferrari derived engine, and you can certainly tell that from the character as soon as you take off. It's a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6 engine, 505 horsepower,
443 pound-feet of torque, and holy moly. Not only does it just really get this vehicle up to speed very quickly, the sound is just intoxicating to hear, and it's very loud too. I will say, just on the track all day long, hearing it, I mean, absolutely phenomenal sound. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness.
So there's your 0 to 60. We were kind of going uphill, actually.
Yeah.
It is still absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, the official 0 to 60 from Alfa Romeo is 3.6 seconds. So incredible 0 to 60. And from reading a couple reviews on this product, you might even be able to beat that. I believe Car and Driver said they tested it officially and got 3.3 seconds to 60 miles an hour. And I have to say, just sitting in here, we've driven a lot of fast vehicles before, and this thing is shockingly quick. And of course, it has all-wheel drive as standard equipment for this Quadrifoglio model. So even here, the roads are cold because it's only about 48 degrees. It's raining a little bit, so the roads are a little damp. And this thing, no slippage whatsoever, just flooring it, 505 horsepower, it puts it down like that.
Right, that's something to keep in mind if you are, actually thinking about getting a Giulia or a Stelvio Quadrifoglio. The Giulia is going to be just rear-wheel drive, and this one is all-wheel drive. Yeah. So if you want to use it, say more of a Four Seasons kind of vehicle, the Stelvio is probably the way to go. We also have an 8-speed automatic transmission, and I just push the shifter over to the left so that we can do a little bit of manual shifting here. The paddle shifters are absolutely awesome. This is one of the things that's actually on all the Stelvio models, and I really appreciate that, but especially useful when you're talking about the Quadrifoglio.
I mean, really, the paddles are just such a great way to get that noise without having to speed. We're not breaking the speed limit. There's a Tiguan in front of us, so but we're still having a lot of fun. I mean, the sound is intoxicating. I mean, I've probably said it 10 times at this point, but the sound is so good. You'll want to use the manual shifting.
Right, and this morning we had a presentation about the entire Alfa Romeo lineup, and one of the things that I don't know if a lot of people knew, we didn't know for sure, is the fact that Alfa Romeo is going to a pure electric brand not that long from now. Actually, the next generation of, I guess, the successors, whatever they end up calling some the Stelvio and Giulia, will end up being electric. So this is kind of a little bit of this last call for the Ferrari derived engine, and it's sad to see it go, but if you guys have the money, now might be the time to buy a classic vehicle here, because this has all the elements of a classic, I would say, sports car. Obviously this is an SUV, but it's on that Giorgio platform shared with the Giulia, and because of that, it really nails all the elements that you want from a sporty vehicle. We actually did get to drive the Giulia Quadrifoglio out on a racetrack, and we're going to include footage of that as well in this video. All right, guys, here we are in the 2024 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This is the high performance model, 505 horsepower. We're out on the track right now. We're gonna show you some of what this thing can do, because this is a high performance machine. First of all, listen to that. Ooh, sounds fantastic. Now we're at the M1 Concourse in Pontiac, Michigan. And as you can tell, it is raining currently. It's also rather chilly, so don't make fun of us. We're going a little slow. We don't want to crash. You don't want to see us crash, because then we're not going to be able to drive any more cars.
The sound is absolutely phenomenal, and I will say the steering is absolutely incredible in this Giulia. I mean, we did the street drive earlier, but it really just comes alive here on the track. And as you can feel there, it can get loose.
Yes, to remind you guys, this is a rear-wheel drive only vehicle. If you want all-wheel drive, you'll have to choose the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, but this model here is really about that pure experience. This is a pretty tight and technical course. Here's the straightaway, here we go.
505 horsepower.
Woo!
Out of a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6. It's a Ferrari derived motor, and boy does it feel like it.
You can tell that from the sound for sure.
Well guys, I hope that was a little bit of what you can do in the Giulia Quadrifoglio. Now, like we said, this is by no means this vehicle's true potential. It is not ideal conditions. The roads are a little cold here. It's under 50 degrees, and this is a rear drive vehicle, and it is raining, of course, but I think this just really goes to show you, you don't even have to be like a professional race car driver to really enjoy what this Giulia Quadrifoglio is all about.
The sound is something you would certainly enjoy every single day, that's for sure. And you don't have to be going fast for that either. Well, guys, hope you found that to be enjoyable. We certainly did. Taking this Quadrifoglio out on the track is a lot of fun, really opening up that 505 horsepower.
And talking about the practicality just a little bit here, we're driving around just outside of Detroit at about rush hour, heading somewhere, and I think this is a great time to talk about how everyday livable this Stelvio Quadrifoglio is. We're even in the dynamic mode, and this vehicle does have adaptive dampers, so that's as rough as the suspension gets, and I haven't even found it to be that uncomfortable, to be honest. You hit a bump, it does a good job of taking the sharpness out of it. You can definitely feel when you go over a bump, but that's exactly what you want out of a vehicle like this. And we do have 21-inch alloy wheels on this. So very impressive ride quality. This is certainly a vehicle that is very hardcore, but also something that you can live with on the daily. And speaking of daily, I do also want to talk about your fuel economy. For this Stelvio Quadrifoglio, you're going to be sitting at 19 miles a gallon combined on premium fuel. So not too bad a fuel economy for something with 505 horsepower.
Oddly enough, it does have auto start stop as well. Unlike the standard engine, this one is the one with auto start stop. But it's not too bad. Relatively smooth. Obviously, you're going to hear it, yes.
And, you know, it wouldn't be a Car Confections test drive if we didn't give you our slam dunk and airball for this Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So, the slam dunk, I mean...
the engine, duh.
You already know this. It's amazing. It's definitely every bit of the hype plus a lot more. It's just such a special engine. If you guys have the money, you should totally buy this. Now, that's all I'm going to talk about with that. And then as far as the airball is concerned, you know, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say it's the technology because that's what we said for the regular Stelvio model. We wish they had updated this infotainment display. But quite frankly, I don't care. So, you know, when you're driving a vehicle like this, it's not about the technology, it's about the drive experience, and it has enough technology to not really interfere with your driving experience. It's just not going to be impressive technology. And I will get you a sound level reading going 50 miles per hour in this model, just for your reference. But we might actually creep up to 55. 59.7 is where we settled in at. Now, we are up in Detroit, so the road is going to be a little bit rougher than back home in Lexington. We would love to have one of these back home in Lexington to sample out, so hopefully we can make that happen to get our official Car Confections sound level reading, but that's certainly a pretty good one considering the rougher roads, there's a lot of traffic around us, and it is very windy outside today. And if you want to see how that compares to some of the rivals, you can go to carconfections.com and go to the sound level readings page where we have all of this vehicle's competitors, including the regular version of the Stelvio, for you to compare. And as far as last things to talk about, I do want to just go ahead and mention the pricing for the Stelvio. How much is all this going to cost you? Well, the Quadrifoglio model is going to start about $87,000. And let's see if we have a window sticker in here. We do have a window sticker on this particular model. We are sitting at $92,125 as tested today. So certainly not cheap, but for the level of performance that you're getting in this model, I think that is a pretty attractive price point, that is for sure. And as far as your warranty, 4-year, 50,000 miles for basic and powertrain. Additionally, you're going to get 1 year of complimentary maintenance.
Yeah, we have driven the X3M, for example, which is a competitor to this, and it really feels like this has a lot more character.
Yeah, and I think that that's really the overarching summary of this vehicle. You know, if you want to see a full Stelvio walk around, we didn't have time to do the Quadrifoglio today, but you can go watch the regular version of the Stelvio. Most of the things are the same, but really the special thing is right there under the hood with this vehicle, and I think that's really a good point to leave off on with this video, is that engine is a piece of history, and it's going to be something that we won't be able to buy forever. And it honestly makes me sad that stuff like this is going to disappear, because it is just so incredibly good that it makes the $92,000 that this vehicle is seem like an absolute bargain. And that's where we're going to leave off on this video. So hopefully you enjoyed this test drive portion of the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. If you did, we would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down below, because by subscribing you help give us opportunities like this where we can show you guys special vehicles like this vehicle here. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we will catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.